its ownership.
Good afternoon. Thank you for listening to Listed by Mina Kuper, Trust, Probate, Divorce, and More. And I am so excited to have Jeremy Kline, and he's a certified family law specialist. And he just is amazing. He's helped a lot of my clients, and he knows what he's doing. So I really am excited to have him. He's a partner at Feinberg, Mendel, Brandt, and Kline, LLP. And Jeremy, how are you doing today?
Doing very well, Mina. Thank you for having me. I am excited to be here on the radio with you.
Awesome.
Excited to be here.
Yes, yes. So Mr. Kline's law practice focuses on family law, which consists of premarital and postmarital agreements, marital dissolutions, support, child custody, visitation, and paternity, which is a lot to cover. And I'm sure in these unprecedented times, it's been more challenging than ever for all parties, including attorneys and legal people that are having to help these people out of a tough time. And, we want to talk a little bit about title. And since, my show is a lot about real estate, and that's what I do, I'm a realtor, and the presumptions of title, because there's often conflicting conversations people have with friends and family. And this show is about things that you should know that you don't know, but you should know. So, we're coming from legal experts here that know what they're doing. They've been in practice for many, many years. And Jeremy, do you want to get a little into detail about conflicting title presumptions, what people assume is one thing and then it may not be where it really is?
Sure. Thank you, Mina. Your program talks a lot about real estate, and there is quite a bit of crossover between real estate and family law. And this recently came up at the California Supreme Court. This past summer, the California Supreme Court decided a case, Brace, B-R-A-C-E, Brace, that where the California Supreme Court was asked to resolve a longstanding question about conflicting title presumptions. On the one hand, we have the presumption that we're going to follow what the title is of record, what it says on paper. And then in family law, we have the presumption that if you're married, that property acquired by a married person during the marriage is community property. And sometimes those two presumptions came into conflict if a married person bought property, but instead of taking title as community property, took title in joint tenancy or in another form. So the Supreme Court was asked to resolve that conflict, and they came down on the side of the family law presumption that often in family law context now, the title presumption may not apply, but instead we're going to follow the presumption of the family code that property acquired during marriage is community property.
Exactly. And, I know that people forget about to transfer title in the name of the people who should be involved. There's a lot of crossover between family law and trust and estate law because they go together. I know, like, for example, if somebody has their name in joint tenancy, which means there's a married couple, and then there's a trust created, and the trust says that the property goes to the child, that potentially can open up a probate and family court and an argument.
The probate would be in probate court,
right.
But there could be a conflict.
Right.
And when property is held in joint tenancy, there's a question whether the parties intended that to be shared as community property, or by taking title as joint tenants, did they mean that property to be separate property? And what this court decision decided is that no, even if you take title as joint tenants, unless you do something else, we're going to treat it as community property. So for married couples out there, if you're acquiring real estate, if you're acquiring property and it's not, and you do not want it to be community property for some reason, if you do in fact want it to be in joint tenancy or as separate property, then you need to do something else. There's an extra step that you need to take to make sure that the property is not community, that it needs to be what we call transmuted. There needs to be a transmutation document that evidences or shows that there was a clear intent not to hold title as community property.
Now, I think it's important to have a prenuptial, especially when people are going into a second marriage, because as I understand it, money that you come into the marriage with and you bought property with uh, would not be community property if you're married and you can prove that you bought it with your money prior to the marriage. But I know it could get complicated because there's always an argument that could be, you know, that can happen.
There could be an argument, and sometimes later on, that's what keeps lawyers and accountants employed. And one way to avoid that is to do a prenuptial agreement. Not everybody needs a prenuptial agreement, but as you say, if this is a second marriage, if one spouse has a business or a professional practice, if one spouse has substantial assets, or if there are questions about real estate, it's best to answer those questions in advance. And one way to do that is with a premarital agreement.
Yeah, and
That can be very helpful.
oh, I agree, and I know Jeremy, you're amazing at prenups. Jeremy crosses his T's and dots his I's because there are people that I've come in contact with through the years of real estate, and it's interesting that people were in other relationships and they kind of started the divorce, but they never finished it. And during the time they were married, these people could have acquired other assets, and then they try to say, well, we weren't really married. And they're trying to get remarried without finishing what they started. And so, Jeremy, what do you think of those situations? I know I've sent some people to you, and you were really great with it. So, you know, tell people what you feel is the right way to do this.
Well, in California, you should only be married to one person at a time. So if your prior marriage is not finished, if you have not finished the divorce, you can't get remarried. If you do, that could be a bigamous marriage. That might be a voidable marriage. You want to avoid that situation.
Yeah.
No good can come of that. So you definitely want to make sure that the prior divorce is finished before you get married a second time.
You know, often well, what I see is people, they meet someone and they kind of forget about the issues they may come across when getting divorced from the first person. So they may get engaged to the second person and then realize that the divorce may take longer than expected. And for some reason, people, and I guess not for some reason, who wants to deal with this, right? It's a lot to deal with. People go through financials and they're always not that transparent. Sometimes you're lucky and they are. And I feel that people should finish what they started because
Absolutely.
if they get a wild hair and they decide they want to get married again, well, it may take another year or two or three if they're assets. And people have to understand whoever you're with or whoever you were with, you have to get everything out from underneath the rug. You have to have everything clear and I think that's so important.
It's much better to start on a clean sheet of paper, finish up that prior divorce, resolve all the issues, and then you can go into that new relationship on a much better footing. If for some reason you can't finish the prior divorce, if there are complicated property issues, there is a procedure where the court can do what's called a status only
Mm.
divorce, a bifurcation where the court can end your marriage and then reserve jurisdiction to divide the property later. That's another solution.
Oh,
But you
interesting.
definitely don't want to get married a second time if you're still married under the first marriage.
You know,
That is not good.
then Jerry, you'll get two
No,
clients at one time.
yeah, but we
I'm
don't, those
kidding.
are, yeah, no. But that's an example of, you know, it's really simple to fix the problem the first time, but if you don't do it right, it's more expensive and more complicated to try and come back and fix it after the fact. Better to do it right the first time. It'll be much cleaner, much simpler, less expensive, and a lot less mental aggravation.
Yes, I agree. And how long have you been in practice for, Jeremy?
I had been, it's hard to believe, just over 30 years,
That's what I
or
figured. You've seen
35
it
years
all.
now. Yes.
Jeremy, what's a good way for people to contact you? I mean, obviously you can call me if you need to find Jeremy. Anytime you can call me, but Jeremy, please let the audience know a good way to reach you because I know how precious time is and how you make time for everybody.
Sure. Best way to reach me, you can call our office in West LA at 310-447-8675. Leave me a message. You can also contact me through our firm website, and I believe my assistant will be posting that in the comments, but you can read more about us at fmbklaw.com. And up on our website, there's a link you can click on my bio or the bio for any of the attorneys in our firm. We have quite a few certified family law specialists in our firm, so we can handle most any family law situation.
Yes, and it's wonderful. And I also urge everyone to reach out to Jeremy for those who want to expedite the divorce process a bit and knowing that the courts are taking a little longer today due to the closings. You can have a private judge, but if you want to know more, you're going to have to reach out to Jeremy, and he
Well,
will
thank
tell
you.
you.
The courts are more congested during,
Yes,
with COVID. The courts, they're more congested and less congested because they're having fewer people in the court.
right.
The courts are trying to do a Herculean job trying to reinvent the court system on the fly to deal with COVID. So now some things that we used to go to court for in person, the court is now handling via an audio call-in. They're starting to do more with video, but it's still a work in progress. The
Yes,
court's doing a tremendous job trying to implement 10 to 20 years of technology in 6 months. So
yes.
they're catching up and they're doing a remarkable job, but it's still a work in progress and it can take some extra time now due to COVID.
And please, reach out to Jeremy if you feel like you're in a domestic situation that requires immediate attention. There are certain things that he can help you with that can remedy the situation. So please reach out to Jeremy Kline, family law specialist, and he can be reached at 310-447-8675. Also, his assistant will be posting on Facebook. For those of you on Facebook or watching this later, it will be on the Facebook stream. And Jeremy, I want to thank you so much for all you do for everybody, for your good heart and your strong manner that you get the job done.
Mina, thank you. It's very kind of you. Thank you for having me on your show and an opportunity to speak with your listeners. It's been
Yes,
wonderful.
the pleasure's all mine, and hopefully we can help people, and that's what I'm here to do, and I know you are too.
Yes, these are difficult times and
Yes.
we've got to help each other.
Yes, indeed so. So, anyway, have a wonderful afternoon. You're listening to KHTS Hometown Station.
Felicia Jurado Insurance Agency specializes in your small business, homeowners, auto, umbrella, and life insurance needs. Their personalized staff is passionate to help you save money while keeping all your valuable assets covered. During these times, many people are concerned about insurance and getting the best value for their dollar. Felicia Jurado's insurance agency understands this and approaches each situation uniquely. Felicia Jurado's insurance agency has friendly hometown customer service reps that are ready to help you today. 661-288-2001.
You just had an accident. Now what?
I'm Caesar from Body Shop 661. After you get into a car accident and call your insurance company, chances are they're going to send you to a cut rate auto body just to save themselves some money.
So, what do I do?
Call me at Body Shop 661. Your car will get taken care of as if it were my own. No second-rate parts, and the job isn't finished until it's done right. Body Shop 661 handles all types of vehicles, foreign and domestic. Plus, I work with all insurance companies.
Locally owned and operated for over 20 years. On Ruther, just past Home Depot. Call Body Shop 661 at 251-2252.
At Substrata, they're dedicated to be your go-to general contractor. They are a premier builder of high-end custom homes from the ground up, major remodels and expansions, multi-unit construction, and commercial tenant improvements for both retail and office build-out. Their focus on details and personal attention have been constant from conception of the project to completion. They build stories not with pen and keyboard, but with steel and manpower. Visit substrata.com or call 424-702-5700.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
You're listening to Listed by Mina, and we are about trust, probate, divorce, real estate, and more. You're listening to KHTS Hometown Station, 1220 AM, 98.1 FM, and I have the lovely Felicia Jurado here, sorry, I'm tongue-tied today, who just helped a client of mine and loves her, and he's going to give her all his cars and motorcycle and whatever he's got. He was so excited when he said, because he got another company because he got anxious. He just bought his first property, and he got anxious and decided to call everybody. You know, people will start getting all, hectic. And I said, no, stop. And then he spoke to Felicia, and that was it. The rates were phenomenal. The coverage was huge, enormous compared to what he was going to get, and the rates were so much better. He's so excited. He goes, she's my go-to girl. He goes, you call these other companies, there's no one to talk to, and then you get shoveled around. But you have Felicia Jurado here, and that's what she's here to do, help you, because it's not fun when you have to file a claim or something happens and you have to be put on hold, and then maybe hopefully somebody you never spoke to will pick up.
Right. I have a lot of complaints about that. That's definitely our number one customer service rating. They love the fact that they can call us anytime. We answer the phone. And if we don't answer the phone, we've seen that you've called and we'll get right back to you. So that's really how we pride ourselves in our office. And I really appreciate you and Michael, and he's an awesome guy.
He's
and
awesome.
I'm so happy I was able to help him.
He was happy because, he never bought a property before. And, it's scary. It's a large purchase.
Right.
Oh, my God. He got a gorgeous 3-level townhome. And you were just you were willing to even help him get out of what he potentially was going to get into.
Right.
Which, the customer service speaks for itself. I mean, I know that I mean, I have rental properties in Scottsdale in Arizona, and I have, that I've had for 10, 12 years, but someone that deals with my insurance needs out there. And we were going to switch one time, and someone told me, oh, call these people. And I called them. I'm like, oh, no. I said, I just can't do it. And it turned out my rates were better anyway. So it's always because unless you want to spend a whole day trying to reach someone, and then maybe you will. It's so important to get someone that you can talk to at any time should anything happen, even things that are unforeseen circumstances. Look at the pandemic. You just never know if you live in a condo and the upstairs bathroom is leaking and you don't know what to do.
See, and that's another wonderful thing about us as well is we have people at our fingertips. You have a leak in your house, I'll call my girl and she'll have someone out there like immediately to start helping you clean up. And we have our glass vendor. So if you break your windshield, I call my glass vendor. He comes out to you.
Amazing.
And all they have to do is call me.
Yeah.
And we know who to call for you and get the right people out there like immediately, so you're not, running around yourself going, I don't know who to call. And we create these relationships with multiple people, so it adds to the service level of how we can service our clients.
And that's super important because an example was in Arizona. It's a 3-level condo where there's 3 different people living. It's not a townhouse. This specific unit, there was a leak from upstairs.
Yeah.
And it was going through between the walls. And usually, you're not responsible for anything inside. Only inside of the walls are you responsible for, but this was going in between the wall and someone else's wall. And the person who was running the HOA had no idea that he was telling me to call my insurance company. And of course, I'm in real estate, but not everybody is and knows this. They would have called their own company and they would have had to hire someone to mitigate the problem right away because they have to stop the flood from continuing. That's the first step.
Right.
And get fans. And so because I knew who their insurance company was, the condo HOA insurance company was responsible because it was not inside my walls. It was outside, but it was seeping into my walls.
Right.
So that's something that can happen, especially when you're in a condo or townhome.
Yeah, that's why those policies are different. They're written differently than just your normal homeowner's policies because single family dwelling units, single family house, you're just responsible for the whole thing from the whole build. Condos and townhouses, there's a part that your HOA is responsible for, and then there's that part that you're responsible for, and there's these common grounds. And you just want to make sure that you're in the right policy so, you're covered properly and it's not something that isn't going to cover you or, it's not, there's going to be too much of a problem. We've had people that it was a mess, stuff like that has happened where their thing leaked and my thing and the insurance companies were fighting for so long and, nothing was happening.
They don't want to pay. Right.
Oh, no, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's not written that way. And this one says this.
That's really something. I know that prior, which is good to know, prior to buying a property with me, just kidding, not really. But prior to buying a property, you can actually call Felicia and ask her to run a property report to see if there were any claims made or any work done, because that can influence the price of the property. Can you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, claims are a little harder to actually pull up, but what we can do is I can pull up permits and pull up the property in that city and see if there has been any recent upgrades that maybe the new home buyer wasn't aware of, that we can find more discounts. Say if it's an older home, say it was built in the 50s, and we're here in 2020, and say the roof was recently redone, but they weren't aware of that, and we can pull those types of permits, plumbing, wiring.
Oh, amazing.
And then we can say, yes, check.
Awesome.
They have these.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm,
and we're going to take a break for a minute, and we're going to learn more, so stay tuned about some more little secrets and tips about your insurance and real estate. We'll be right back.
This holiday music is brought to you by Providence Holy Cross Medical Center, your community health partner. To learn more about our award-winning care, call 1-888-HEALING or visit us on the web at providence.org.
At Substrata, they're dedicated to be your go-to general contractor. They are a premier builder of high-end custom homes from the ground up, major remodels and expansions, multi-unit construction, and commercial tenant improvements for both retail and office build-out. Their focus on details and personal attention have been constant from conception of the project to completion. They build stories not with pen and keyboard, but with steel and manpower. Visit substrata.com or call 424-702-5700.
When it comes to buying or selling your home, there's no room for error with your money. That's why Precision Escrow is the company you need to know. When selling your home, you want to make sure you're working with a company that has your best interest and keeps your money safe. That's why they use encrypted emails and secure trust accounting. Precision Escrow will follow the contract in detail from the beginning to the end and protect the parties involved. Working with Precision is like working with a huge family. Everyone is always smiling and cohesively working together for you. Check out their 5-star Yelp and Google reviews and see how they separate themselves from the competition. Whether you use an agent or sell your home yourself, they'll give you 30% off your transaction, which saves you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Use code RADIO30 to take advantage of the savings. Call Lauren Fredette, your representative, for more details. She's available 7 days a week during and after office hours. Call toll-free 877-393-4101. Let them help you through one of the most important decisions of your life. La Rocca Inspections provides 4 of the most needed inspections when buying or selling real estate, and homeowners love their property reviews. Since 1994, they serve the greater Los Angeles area and its 100-plus communities. Schedule residential or commercial inspections for your comprehensive reports. Their inspections can save you money on repairs. Go to laroccainspections.com and download the free guide to inspections. Call now for your free quote, 818-951-1795.
Felicia Jurado Insurance Agency specializes in your small business, homeowners, auto, umbrella, and life insurance needs. Their personalized staff is passionate to help you save money while keeping all your valuable assets covered. During these times, many people are concerned about insurance and getting the best value for their dollar. Felicia Jurado's Insurance Agency understands this and approaches each situation uniquely. Felicia Jurado's Insurance Agency has friendly hometown customer service reps that are ready to help you today. 661-288-2001.
I love it.
Right on!
Your hometown station.
Well, welcome back to Listed by Mina Kuper, Trust, Probate, Divorce, and More, KHTS Radio, 98.1 FM, 1220 AM with Felicia Jurado. Hi. Again.
Hello.
So, when you buy a property or you sell a property, it's really important to know what are the factors besides the value of the market that goes into the purchase price. And I'm a little bit of a realtor nerd. And I do extensive research because I know, and I always hit the nail on the head, because I know what my clients are getting in and out of. And I've become so detail-oriented that I've had appraisers call me, and I'm not kidding, when this COVID situation first happened, because they were thrown off. And they heard through the grapevine that I do extensive research from insurance situations or whatever, to see and make sure that the deal, the purchase or the sale, goes smoothly. And I am obligated as a licensed realtor to be that person. And I really like it. It's kind of looking, and you want to know if you're buying something or selling something, you want someone like that. Not just, let's not talk about it.
Right.
Because how does that benefit people? Felicia, I'm sure you've had people call you where they couldn't believe certain things.
Yeah, I like to be very transparent, have that transparency at all times, because not only ethically, but I really want people to understand what's happening. I don't mind explaining things, and really trying to get on people's levels, because, insurance terms and legal terms are something we have to learn, and not everybody has those types of vocabulary. So I don't like to like to talk over people. So when I'm talking about their policy and what we can recommend, I try to get on everybody's level so that they really understand what they're getting, how we can adjust things, what's going on, because everybody is different.
It is.
I mean, even though you think, well, it's just insuring a property, but you have different things in your property. You have different assets and different personal property items. I had a client who came to me, and their personal property limits were so high, and they were paying so much money. And I said, why are you paying all this? And he says, oh, I have this big gun collection. And I says, well, if you don't schedule it properly, you're not properly covered. So we, adjusted down the global personal property, gave him the right coverage on those guns, and it actually lowered his costs. And he had the right coverage at that.
How amazing.
Yeah.
How amazing.
So I like doing what you do. I like
That's
to really
great.
kind of go through what people have and see what, we can really fine tune and help them
That's
with.
great. I was so upset with the shutdown right now. What I decided to do, when you refer yourself or a friend, portion of my proceeds will go towards gift certificates from your favorite restaurant to give to people that are having trouble putting food on their table. So it's a win-win. We're going to feed some people, and I'm going to donate quite a bit. And you're going to help the restaurants stay open and help you get your house sold or bought. So, because I can only do what I could do on my own, so I need your help to help everyone. And I know Felicia is charitable, and everyone that I have on my show is the same kind of person. And if you connect with us, reach out to us, because it's so important to get people that are in it. Their why is to help others. And the intrinsic value you get from that is exceptional. It's like the happy medicine of the world. And that's what makes me do what I do, and that's what makes me thrive on doing what I do. Again, Felicia, how can people reach you?
You can call our office at any time, 661-288-2001, and myself or Sandy will answer the phone. And like I said, and if we can't get to that phone call right then and there, we will absolutely see that you've called and call you right back.
That's great. And especially we had Jeremy Kline on today. So if you're going to be divorcing, you may need your own insurance agent.
Exactly.
And usually that's what happens. You get your own people. I think it's a good point. And I really want to thank everyone for showing up today. And I hope to see you next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. And be well, stay safe. We are social distancing. We have plexiglass everywhere, so don't worry. There couldn't be more social distancing, and here I am embedded in plexiglass. So thank you again, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Mina.